you've always thought the interview is not about yourself. You're a fly on the wall. And I always say, if I see a fly on the wall, my instinct is to squash it. You're not there like as an adjunct to the tape recorder to collect the stories, but you're actually there as a co-author to create the stories, because the stories are being told to you. They're not being told in the abstract, people, so that we know that we ourselves will not tell our story in the same way to different people. So in a way that, and this also added another element, which was that implicit in the stories that people told was what they thought of me. Because I was because they tell the story to the kind of person they think you are, and therefore you're sort of mirrored in there, and that creates the dialogic element whereby you're sort of called into question every time, and so what I enjoyed was the fact that it's always a challenging experience. It's a learning experience because you talk to people, the reason you do the interview is the person you're talking to knows things that you don't know. So it's a learning situation. And it's also a situation of learning about yourself, but also challenging people to think about their own lives, because nobody's ever asked, tell me the story of your life. People tell episodes, anecdotes, but so suddenly the life story interview, or any kind of interview that places events in a life story perspective, challenges the narrator to give a shape to the narrative that they don't necessarily do when they are in their usual environment. I honestly don't know why people talk to me. And most people like to talk about themselves. And everybody talks about establishing a relationship of trust. Yes and no. Yes and no. My favorite interview, one of my favorite interviews, is with this African American lady who up and told me, no white person has ever done anything to me, but because you're white, I don't trust you. And my sense was that she trusted me enough to tell me why she couldn't trust me. That is, she could trust me up to an extent, but then, and I was wondering, well, all right, she knows I'm a friend of friends, I'm involved with unions, with civil rights, so why? But then, if your skin color became a matter of life or death, could she trust me? Could I trust myself? And the other story is this wonderful woman, a disabled coal miner's wife. I stayed with her family for years every time I went to Harlan. And she did so many things that she didn't have time to do housekeeping, so the house was unkempt at best. So one day she said, well, when you first came here, my sister called me and she said, this guy wants to do an interview, what should we do? And she says, the conclusion was that if he ain't too stuck up, we'll talk to him. So I asked her years later, for me you think I wasn't stuck up? Because I don't know if I was or not. And she says, well, the house is seriously unkempt. She says, you walked in and you didn't look for a clean place to set your butt on. And the interesting thing is they look at you before you even start looking at them. Yeah. So there's no such thing as the observer and the observed. There's an interview, a reciprocal seeing each other. The one thing that I managed to convey, I don't know how, is that I can be educated. okay? And I think this is really what we're there for, you know. So if you manage to convey the sense that you can be educated, then people, as one lady told me, people are happy to help you. Yeah, because, you know, again, this sense we give voice to the voiceless means we are the heroes. In fact, when she said, you know, people are happy to help you, they're in control, and you're there, you know, humility, openness, flexibility, these things, but it's not a technique, it's an attitude, I guess. Misremembering is a factor in all history, okay? I mean, to put it bluntly, the reason we're doing this is because we think official narratives are misrememberings. You do what you do with any kind of scholarly work. You do not take any narrative at face value, but you check them with other sources. Number one, you don't do an oral history project with 3 interviews. My major projects, I've done about 200. The little formula I use all the time is, you do 3 things at once. You do the work of the historian, try to find out what happened. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you go as close as possible. Then you do the work of the anthropologist. What are people's mental and narrative constructs about what happened? Then you do the work of the oral historian. How come this event generates that story? And you navigate that land between. Everybody says you don't do history only with oral sources. In fact, I don't know anybody who does history only with oral sources. On the other hand, I know all kinds of people who do history only with written sources, even when oral sources are available. You know, I think you use all available sources, and it depends on what your project is. If you're, you know, in oral history, some people weigh more toward history. Some people, like me, weigh more toward oral, and oral history is not a history based only on oral sources, but it's a history where the structure of the story is derived primarily from oral sources, and then it includes everything else.